Hello and welcome back to Take Refuge 3D, or welcome if you're new. Now in today's video I want to talk about XNurbs. Now XNurbs is a feature of the studio license of Plasticity, which allows you to blend surfaces quite easily, and oftentimes it works much better than lofting and patching does. Other times not so much. So it does have a use case, so your input for XNurbs still needs to be very good to get a good result. If you've got lots of crappy edges, you're going to end up with a crappy result, just like with anything else. So what I want to do, we'll look at XNurbs first and see how that works, and then we'll look at trying to figure the same thing out with a patch. And that might help you decide on whether it's something that's suitable for you or not. Now, if you're thinking about buying Plasticity, you can use my code in the description down there, Refuge10, to get a 10% discount off Plasticity. Now, let's look at this little corner here. This was made with a combination of fillets, chamfers, and CVs, I believe. I can't remember exactly what I did to get this result. But if we take this Matcap out, which has got this straight line reflection through the middle, we'll be able to very easily see, and if we turn our edges off, that this reflection gets cut off and then is offset part of the way through on this join. Okay, that's not exactly what we want. Okay, now you might want this because it gives it a very machined look. However, you may also want to have a molded look, in which case you want this blend to be quite nice. Like from a distance, who cares? It looks great. Now, we'll just come down here, we'll turn our edges on, we'll get rid of that, and we'll just press F to go into our search menu. Okay, we'll type XNurbs, and then we go. I've got it set to Alt-V, as you can see, and then we're going to stick that straight to a G2, maximum quality. We'll just leave it as it is, and then we can press J to join that to our object. Now, when we turn this Matcap back on, you can see that that problem is more or less gone. Now, if we come to our edge, you can probably slightly tell there's a very slight dink. You might not even be able to tell with YouTube compression, but overall, if we compare that back over here, we can actually see from a distance the edges here. Now that's kind of important, especially if you're doing like a game asset workflow, because these artifacts will show up in your bake, and you may not want that, right? I mean, you could conceal them with dirt and grime and things like that, but it will still show up. Okay, so that's really good. Now, let's just go back to this Matcap that I made with my plugin Matcaps Forever. Link in the description for Blender. Now, let's try and patch this one. Okay, this is exactly the same. We patch, press tab to go to G1, and we ended up with this fractured patches. Okay, there is a way, and I've made a video on how to get rid of this, but that video is not going to fix the continuity issue. But if you do want to see that video, you can check it out. I'll put a link. Now, let's get rid of that. Let's try patch that again, and then we can just start one by one trying out these edges, but eventually something might fail. Okay, so we can get that to, as soon as we get G1s all the way around, it's going to fail. Okay, so we can have a look at that. Okay, and we can, it's not quite G2 continuity, and you can see that there is still of an edge, but it's not offset anymore. It's just kind of angular. Okay, so that's a little bit better. Still a bit janky down here. Okay, and you can see that that's overall good. So for me, that's a nice compromise. I'm wondering if we can get it any better though. So what we can try and do is hold Alt click to get that edge loop, duplicate it. Okay, choose our edge, and let's just rebuild that. Okay, just leave the default settings, and then let's try and patch that in like that. Okay, and I don't know if that actually improved anything. I think it made it worse, but now let's just try and see if we can get a... And that comes up with a different result than what we were getting with the G1s before. So I think what we just had before with just patching this, oh, this time around we got the G1s all... Oh, that was XNurbs though. So just patching this. Yeah, so you're going to have a compromise somewhere. You're not going to get that G2 continuity. Okay, so just another quick example is, let's have a look up here. Okay, so we'll turn this off and you can directly see that this is not what you want. Okay, so let's just turn on our zebra stripes here, and we've got this kind of triangles going up and matching in with this. Okay, so let's just, yeah, you can see it quite nicely with this Matcap. So yuck. So what we've got this hard edge down here now. Patching or XNurbs not going to like that. So what we're going to just quickly do here is try and get this with a G2 continuity down here. And we can take these out and we should be able to just get a G2 straight out of this, I'm pretty sure. So this is a patch. G1 is going to fracture again. G2 is going to be impossible. XNurbs, G2, max settings, boom. And we're actually getting a way cooler shape out of this. So if we turn our zebra stripes on now, we've got that as opposed to that. Alright, so that is looking quite nice as far as I'm concerned. And just looking at it through this lens, you can see that we've got this nice molded look. And looking at it through this lens, you can see these highlights coming down here like that, as opposed to just these sharp kind of fillets. So I think XNurbs, in conclusion, is probably not necessary for, you know, everybody or most people. However, it is really, really handy. So just have a play around and see what you can get out of it. But just remember that the input is always going to affect the output. So if you've got shitty edges, you're going to end up with crappy results as well. So ensuring that, like, you know, what we did up here, adding a G2 continuity to the bottom of this, if we didn't do that, for example, we weren't going to get the same result. So let's try and XNurbs that now. Fails on a G1. So you can see what I mean by that. So you still need to think about what input that you're giving it in order for it to get a good result. I think I'll leave it at that. And I've put a poll up in my community tab. If you could vote on that to see which tutorial you would like to do, go and vote on that. And I'll see you guys all in the next one. Tschüss! Tschüss! Tschüss!